What's up, guys? It's another episode of Mitten State Sports Corner. I am Bret with one T.
Bret with two T's. Welcome back to another week. We got some first week of Beer League hockey down, and my counterpart here, he's got a lot to say about it.
Not a lot of good things, I can tell you that much. It was a tough week, tough debut week with the new squad. We lost the game 4-2 for our 18 and up team, and I don't know how I can't put at least two of them on my shoulders, especially the last one.
I would say the empty net one.
The empty net one was bad, and I'll tell you why. I decided that it was a good idea to go to the bench for the extra attacker.
Pull himself without saying anything.
When the coach didn't call me. And mind you guys, counterpart of mine, Bret here, is the coach because, again, he decided to wear a hand condom for 6 months. And so, of course, he's a rookie coach, so I don't want to put it all on him and ruin his career. But, he gave me this look, or I thought it was a look.
I was looking at the scoreboard to see what the time was.
Yeah, well, you fooled me, and here I go. I'm thinking, all right, he's giving me the look. There's guys on the team bench looking over here for some reason.
Because the play was in front of you.
All the commotion doesn't mean I'm paying attention. And I'm like, God, it's got to be my time to go. And we're down 3-2 with 3 minutes to go. And away I go to the bench, and yep, they scored. And they made it 4-2, which put it out of reach. And so that was pretty tough.
The tough part was not knowing you really came to the bench until I looked down. You're sitting right in front of me.
Yeah.
And then, so therefore, nobody on the ice knows you're not in the net.
Also true. And then Tony's like, why didn't anybody tell me? And it's like, yeah, well, nobody knew. That's why, Tony. Nobody knew.
Yeah, he was giving me a lot of shit for that.
Well, you're still the coach. You deserve the blame.
But I didn't.
Got to have control of your boys.
I didn't know.
Got to have control of your boys. So, I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's still going to fall on your shoulders. I'm just trying to take some of the heat off you, especially as a rookie coach. So,
yeah.
Aside from that, then turn around and, Wednesday, a few days prior to, we had our 35 and up debut and didn't win that game either. But we're offensively challenged, so it's not that surprising. But we played better than I expected. We scored more than we scored on average last year, which I think was under 2 goals a game. So, hell, great job, boys. I appreciate that. That is not the reason for my frustration. I can tell you that much. I have signed up for a team to skate out on, which is awful. I mean, I don't know why anybody would want me to skate out for him in the first place. And then I go out and I get 3 assists. That'll probably never happen again. But this team that we played was so bad that I looked respectable. It's amazing. They look like you out there.
Okay, yeah. Sure.
Where were you yesterday in our time of need, coach or player? I mean, really, if you think about it, let's break that down. Our team needed you, okay?
Where?
Well, there's times that leadership is needed. And, a 3-2 game before your goalie comes to the bench at will, you have to be able to recognize the moment and pull an Herb Brooks and rally the troops and have that conversation. And that conversation wasn't had. So what happened? The team faltered. Right, fucking
because
went rogue
you came to the bench again without telling me.
Well, what do you mean again? This is the first time this ever happened.
Well, you came to the bench a second time and didn't say anything.
Well, at that point, I was already pissed.
That was where I was like, all right,
sucked.
This is just so
already pissed. We're down 2 goals now instead of 1. So again, that's where leadership would have really been helpful. So I mean, I'll take one for the team on this one, but we expect better from you two going forward.
Yeah. I'll be back on the ice.
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. The way our team looked yesterday, though, I don't know where we're going to be able to fit you in the lineup, Brett. I mean, it's going to be tough.
Oh, there's
who are you going to replace?
Oh, the person that took the first penalty of the game just because he was
whoop, whoop.
That was a lazy take. That guy that he was not really skating well, but he let him just go right around him.
You want to tell everybody why he had to take a penalty?
Oh, yeah. The guy who just went right around him, and he had pretty much a clear-cut breakaway.
Yeah.
And so he hooked him.
Yes.
It was just pure laziness. But that's not the last hooking call we had of the night. Do you mind telling us why we had another one, Bret?
Well, to sum up, keep this real short and sweet, I had another blunder in the game, and I decided that, there was a play that the puck, caromed down to my side, and the guys were a little ways off, and I decided to take control of the puck, go out and play it, which has never been a strong suit of mine, I'll be very clear. I've never been a really good stick handler, but I decided to pass it to the guy that was chasing the puck, so he had a clear shot on net.
Right on his tape.
Right? I mean, it's a good pass. I mean, it was great. Think about that. Somebody with no stick handling ability, and I tape to tape. So, again, wrong color jersey, we can clean those things up, but a good pass is a good pass. And it was a deal where we were about to go down 4-2 at that point, right before I decided.
No,
to come
that would have put them up 3-2 at the time.
Or 3-2 at the time, and
then Tony saves the day. Give Tony props there. Tony
Perfect.
saved the day there.
Great
where
penalty.
He did like the same thing Blake did, but he did it actually
Out of
at the correct
desperation.
time.
Correct.
And then, but then Tony, I think maybe even the same.
It may have
shift
been
or
the next
shift,
play.
Next shift. Well, no, he had a penalty, so it would have been his next shift. Yeah, lets the guy just go right behind him on the draw. And he gets an easy rebound goals.
Yeah. As a goalie, you're trained to make the first save, right? And your teammates are supposed to clear out the rebounds, typically. I've always tried to take the ownership of, I got to make the first save and the rebound. Beyond that, if the rebound's not saved, that's on you guys.
Could you have swallowed that first shot up so there wasn't a rebound?
Sometimes it just depends on it depends on where the
That's my next question.
where the angle. But
so
again,
we
obviously
don't even have that issue.
This was the first game, especially at this speed, like you'd mentioned. I mean, I played in 35 a lot slower, and so this is the quickest game I've personally played in since
It was
like
a
March.
fast game, man.
And just everything was off. Timing was off. I could feel like I was a step behind all night. And granted, honestly, to only lose 4-2 with a real mess up to make it 4-2. I'm not even that upset, but hopefully we can clean some of that stuff up and maybe pull a W. It's going to be the year.
It was only the first game of the year.
Dr. Jake called it and said we're winning a chip this year.
God, here we go.
That's on him.
It was the first game of the year. Everyone was dead. Not a
Still am.
lot of people do some off season training. Now I would
We don't
say,
get this figure by not doing off-season
I think
training.
you're the only person that's actually played since probably April, and you're a goalie.
But I've only played like 3 times.
Exactly. That's exactly my point.
Yeah.
I think you're the only one that's skated since then. Andy did. Andy has.
He has to.
He plays a lot.
Yeah, he has to. He skates a lot.
But other than that, I think you two are the only ones that actually skate all year
It's
round.
the pride. It's the pride of the team. That's what I try to demonstrate.
But yeah, it's
to
only
lead
week
you
one.
guys,
It'll be all right.
We got to have somebody. lead
Everyone's
the team.
still getting their legs back. It's okay.
Where were your legs, Blake?
I'm Bret.
God damn it. Where were your legs
Jeez.
at?
Oh, standing up on the bench
Yeah.
with a beer in hand.
I think you did great there. I really do. I think my perspective from the net is it was a real nice angle. I mean, you really looked the part.
You're
a lot
damn
of
right I
times.
did.
And I think you drank 3 beers.
1 per period.
Yeah.
No, it was actually I only had 2.
Okay, fair enough.
I had one in the locker room, and I took the rest of it onto the bench, and I had one.
You want to be like Brandon and throw up?
Oh God, no!
You want to join him at the trash can?
I'm surprised he didn't last
The
night.
trash can talk?
He had a golf outing prior to our game, so he
Yep.
came straight from the golf outing to hockey. So he had a long day. But
We had a long day, too. Man, we had a long weekend. Can I say something, too?
Yes,
I am so glad we do not have to go to Ann Arbor this weekend.
yeah, it's
I love my
5
boys in
weeks
blue.
in a row.
I do. I mean, I'm just as much of a fan as anybody else. But my God, I am so excited not to have
Yeah.
to go down there at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning for a weekend.
5 weeks in a row.
Man,
Waking up at 4ish in the morning, being on the road by like 5:30.
yeah.
5 weeks in a row.
But it's not just like we just do that, right? Like we got jobs.
Yeah,
We got kids. We got other stuff going on, and so it's just adding another work day to your schedule, and so it's a lot right now. And
the only
It's,
time you relax is the times we actually go in the game, and obviously
Yes.
you can't relax in the game because obviously there's so many people, so you're not really relaxed in your
I couldn't
seat.
even relax last
Eh.
week because my kid got freaking injured at the game in
Yeah.
Indiana. So it's like
That
cool.
too.
Anxiety level triple.
So before we continue on here, so we got the Lions game on over to our left.
Yeah.
And do these all black jerseys with the blue helmets look slick?
Pretty slick.
I like them.
Well,
They look really good. First play, screen pass, and goes nowhere. Shocker. That's been the screen pass all damn year. Was that Laporta that he threw
might have
that
been.
to?
Yeah, I mean, they had a pretty light injury report. I saw Branch was out. Obviously, Melifon
But
was out.
he's sick, though. He wasn't
Yeah.
hurt, which was
Correct.
odd.
Well, but he had illness. He went on the report yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that's okay. Hey, that's fine. They are missing Ragnow, torn
Yeah,
pec.
Ragnow is out.
That's a deal. That one hurts. Graham Glasgow moving over to center because he's played there before in our
Yeah, he was
system.
a center at Michigan.
Yeah. So, that's good to have that experience. I'm a little concerned now with the left guard position. It's one of those things where we're going to have to kind of slug through. But Seattle's missing their top 4 pass rushers.
Yeah, you see Mike Morris's name just now?
Yep.
Come across? I didn't even realize he was in Seattle. So that's a former Wolverine, and
Yep.
he played for Mike McDonald when he was the D coordinator
Yeah,
at Michigan.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I did read that they had quite a few players out
Boy
on the defensive
Maffey's
side of the
out.
ball.
You got Leonard Williams is out. So they've got a couple of real stud pass rushers that
So
they don't have.
We will be doing a Lions recap episode this week. But not this episode. This episode, obviously, we're going to talk some Red Wings, Tigers playoff run, and obviously the Michigan-Minnesota game. Actually, we also have the Red Wings-Pittsburgh preseason game on in our background as well. We are currently 2-1 losing. Great.
The split day games. Some of the teams
Well,
in
was it
Buffalo.
supposed to be like this?
No, I know, but the Pittsburgh game got postponed for weather.
No, their whole plane just, I guess, took a shit. So they couldn't fly. So, yeah, so that's what that was. Mazer. Block. Whatever.
Well, Lions' first drive's 3 and out. That's nice.
Oh, is that 4th and 20? What the hell happened? Did they get a penalty?
Back up freaking lineman. Solid start, boys.
Holding call? That looks like
No,
a
he got
holding
sacked.
Call. Nice. Hell
Got
yeah.
sacked on the first drive. That's good. That, again, should be awesome. Oh, the block in the back. All right. So, yeah, obviously, being down at the tailgate, as we just mentioned,
Rained on us all morning.
was terrible. It
What
rained on us.
a way to go into essentially like it's essentially our Friday was like when it comes to tailgates.
Yeah.
So what a way. It actually kind of works out that way. So because we went to 5 straight.
Yeah.
So yeah, Monday through Friday.
Perfect.
So this was our
See what you did
Friday.
there. Nice work.
Yeah, big brain, But and it went well to like start the day. The weather was okay, and then it just. So we made our way over to like the entrance where the players come in. So we wanted to get that view, and it just started pouring on us. And we were probably the furthest point away from from where we were set up.
Yeah.
And we had to walk back in that rain, and it was horrible. And then obviously the presidential motorcade came in, so we couldn't cross the street for 10 minutes because they were coming from God knows where.
10 walls. I mean, there had to be 30 cop cars, and literally, I think we
more than
stood on
that.
that corner for 25 minutes. It felt like. I mean,
in the rain, it definitely felt that.
Yeah, it
like
was
that.
terrible.
It was probably only like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. But
Felt
when it was
longer.
raining like the way it was, it definitely felt longer for sure.
yeah, and it's I don't know.
Ooh, did
I'm
he
all,
make that
I'm,
catch?
I'm all about having special guests.
Oh,
and
they
stuff,
did
but
say he made that catch.
that was just ridiculous. There was too many of them, and then obviously we got rained down on a lot of our normal stuff, and so it was just a tough day. And it's not like Michigan really did a great job at
First half.
convincing us again in the second half. It was pathetic again in the second half.
Great. So that's my like true topic of what the hell goes on in the locker room at halftime.
Nothing.
Because this has been 3 straight weeks where they've had a good like first half, and then they come out and lay an egg in the second half.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing.
What is going on? That's just
Is that
Michigan was
that's on
known.
coaching?
I would say so because Michigan was known in the last couple of years that they were one of the best second half teams. They would come out flying in the second half, and they were damn near unstoppable.
Yeah.
But now they look like a bottom feeder team in the second half. They're getting
The bottom feeder teams look better than us.
I did see the stat that they're getting outscored by a ton
By
in the
200
second
points
half.
in the third quarter. 200 or second half. I mean, it was 200 points, like 598 to like
3-something,
396 or something. It was crazy.
It's just given 2 of your opponents were lower level opponents.
He gave Minnesota 21 points in the fourth quarter.
And the way you ended the half. How did you come out? How did you come out of halftime so dead?
You can't even blame weather. They played in the same weather
Because they ended that first half so well, where they had the interception, they had that fumble that I think they got too, and it's
a couple sacks.
Yeah, they ended the half. They couldn't have ended any more perfect, and it was just I don't know.
It was kind of a sad sight to see, really.
That's my concern going forward.
Yeah,
you did see the offense make a couple bit of strides. They did bring us a little bit more play calling, a little more creative play calling.
Yeah,
and I think they're making strides there as far as offensive side of the ball.
Did Alex Orji double his passing yards from last week?
I think he doubled his actual total passing yards for the year.
Did he go over 100 for the year?
Well, no, he didn't.
Well, that's sad.
For the year, he's over 100 yards for the year.
Yeah.
I think he had like 70 or 80 on Saturday.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying. It's like crazy.
They got something. I feel like they got 86 to be exact. But he did have that terrible interception. where he had two people wide open. He just threw that ball so late to Loveland, and
So
he just threw it up for grabs.
Ask yourself this question. So those kinds of plays are going to come up 3 to 5 times a game, typically. Like there's a lot of evidence out there those kind of things happen on both sides of the ball. Okay, so I watched 2 clips yesterday. There was an instance where Donovan Edward was wide open down the left side of the field, wide open, not a guy within 10 yards of him. And then that play with Colson Loveland, where he basically either thought he was going to cut one way and he went the opposite, or whatever the deal was, but he oversailed him right to the defender.
He didn't even oversail him. He waited too long to throw the ball.
Yeah, I guess that's a better way to put it. And it's like, all right. So if it's just a timing thing, I do feel that stuff can be corrected, right? Like, okay,
because
that release point's got to be quicker.
Timing.
It's got to be quicker. But I don't know. I guess accuracy is hard to teach. Accuracy is very hard to teach.
But
you either have it or you don't.
On the same
in a lot
play,
of cases.
Edwards was wide open too on
That's what I'm saying.
right side. So that it was definitely a timing issue on that one because he threw the ball way too late to the point where Loveland was too far downfield and where he threw it to as well was also just not ideal.
Yeah.
So
I think we've got to find a way we got to know, can he hit those throws or not? I don't go to practice with him. You don't go to practice with him. A lot of us, most fans do not. There has to be a line, right? If he cannot hit those throws, I'd say 6 out of 10 times in practice. What do you do?
I don't know.
You can't leave. Okay, let me put it this way. You cannot go this way the rest of the year. I will say.
What's frustrating is that we've talked about this every damn week, and it still just isn't getting figured out.
Let me tell you, Urban Meyer, do not like Urban Meyer. I do not like Urban Meyer for a lot of reasons. Obviously, Ohio State's coach. I think he's arrogant as shit. I also think he was really awful in the NFL.
Well, it was 2-11.
But the thing is he did make a point, and from a football perspective, he's not wrong. He says, this formula is not sustainable in playoff play or whatever you want to call it, big games. He thinks they need to use Warren and Orji. And I don't disagree. But what I do disagree with is how they used him the first time. Mm-hmm. If you bring Orji in, it cannot be to run the ball every time. It needs to be 50% of the time you don't even give him the ball.
Agreed.
The other 50% you might have him throw it. Might be a pitch play, might be some kind of option, might be a run, could be a flea flicker. It could be a lot of things, but you have to change it up. And I don't know yet that Kurt Campbell has the creativity in him yet.
Yeah, so where's the damn jet sweep been?
Well, they do the jet sweep when they're down by 10, and they're down. It's like 2nd and 35. They go jet sweep. Let's do a jet sweep, guys. See what happens. And it's
that's like a
calling.
perfect play for Samaj Morgan because of his speed.
He struggled.
And we've seen it once, I think, this year.
Yeah, but I think and I don't even want to sit here and beat up the Michigan coaches all year because the team's 4-1. Okay, we have to be somewhat grateful that the team is 4-1.
Lucky 4-1, in my personal opinion.
I'm 100% on your side with that. But for what it is, right? Like at the end of the day, don't question necessarily how you got there until you get to the playoff committee. Of course, then they question everything. But win's a win. But I just feel like a lot of these players are underutilized or not used appropriately. Samaj Morgan, I expect to have a much bigger year so far. And it's been a lot of runs for like 2-3 yards. These little misdirects, they're just not working. They need to do something different. He's a guy in space. Frederick Moore needs to be in space.
To my point about we talked about the wide receivers last week, we don't know if they're good or not.
Yeah.
At this point, it's a toss up of if they're just not that good or just the scheme is so bad that they can't do anything with it.
Might be a little both.
I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're a good enough receiver to get recruited to a big-time school, that they can at least, just out of pure skill, get separation on a corner every once in a while.
Lions inside the 5.
Yeah, I caught that corner.
Yeah, but who's the number one right now? Who's the number one receiver right now?
I think it's got to be Samaj, right?
It's Colson Loveland.
Oh, well, okay, if we're going that route, yeah.
Sorry, I consider that.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's like trivia.
Absolutely right. I thought we were talking strictly receivers. I didn't realize.
Yeah,
we were talking
I see what you're saying. Yeah, and that's to me that's a problem. Like
1,000% it is.
I also get frustrated when we're being now compared to Iowa.
Yeah, I did see
Good
that.
defense, bad offense, but it's true. At the end of the day, we haven't played 2 games. We now played 5 games.
By the way, I'm still not impressed with the pass defense.
Pass defense for me has not been its problem. I think it's if I'm going to criticize a level of the defense, it's linebackers.
Yeah, they've been pretty non-existent.
Well, they'll show up and then they take plays off. And again, can that be scheme? Can that be level of talent on the other side of the field? There's all kinds of yeses in there. But at the end of the day, I feel like that's a big part of the problem. I also saw McBurrows is now out for the year.
Yeah, I did see that.
That sucks.
Wonder what happened
Will
there.
Johnson, nursing injury. He should be back this week, they said.
Samaj Morgan will play this week as well.
Samaj Morgan will play this week. Obviously, you had Colson Levin last week. Another week of hopefully him healing up. Does that take some stress out? From Orgy? Maybe.
3rd and goal from the 1.
But I'll tell you, it's boy up front. Is it not the Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant show? My God, those two together are like, thing 1 and thing 2. Like they are great.
They had a tough start to the year, but these last couple weeks they've come alive.
They really
well.
have. Though they've got back to dominant play. Like those two
Montgomery
themselves.
touchdown.
Those two themselves are dominant.
Touchdown Lions.
Let's go.
I kind of love this little live reaction type at the same time.
Should have a picture-in-picture with it sitting right there, man. That'd make fans feel like we actually know what we're doing, but we don't. So,
but we also don't have NFL trademarks, so that would get taken down so fast.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the U.S. government. So, I think another thing that really intrigued me, this week was the ability, and maybe it's the weather, but of Minnesota able to slow down our run game after Iowa trounced them the week before.
Yeah, they did. They were able to adjust
over 100,
very, very
still.
well. Yeah, Mullen still had over 100 yards.
Yeah.
But they definitely adjusted very well in that second half, and he wasn't able to move too much in the second half for sure. So they definitely adjusted very well to it. And
Fleck had the boys playing good.
Yeah, no,
He really did.
For sure. You look at it, they through 3 quarters they only had 3 points, and then obviously in the fourth quarter is when they came alive, and they were just
but if you're
they were
Minnesota,
manhandling Michigan.
Your plane ride home or bus ride home, whatever it is. I'm not feeling upset on the way home from that. Like you're upset because you lost, but you're not upset with being in that game on the road against the team that on paper is better than you significantly.
They probably thought they could have.
They should have won the game. The offsides penalty was a little sketchy.
I didn't catch that one. I didn't catch that. But I
don't know that it was
the
offsides.
highlights.
But there was other areas that you could have called a penalty.
But
So
at the same
whatever.
time,
Don't put yourself in that position, dude.
Well, yeah, and also, do you not know an onside kick is coming? Why was there only like one guy over there? That's another thing. Like, what? How
do you think the coaching staff's overwhelmed? I hear this a lot. Do you, like, your honest opinion, do you think the coaching staff is overwhelmed?
I think they're in over their head a little bit, yeah. They do have a bye week after this week of Washington, so they could definitely get a lot of work done in the bye week for sure. Sure.
What do they do?
Well, I think you got to revamp the whole offensive playbook at this point. Now that you get a week off.
Not in the midseason.
Well,
you can't
not
redo the
like
whole thing.
fully,
You
but
got to trim it.
Yes, exactly. That's what I mean. So you get a full week where you can get a groove going with Orgy and everyone else. You can finally get some pretty much on the fly of like this is what we're doing. Now you get a full week to work on and fine tune some things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe get his arm and get his receivers on the same plane here. So I'm really hoping this bye week actually is beneficial. Usually bye weeks are not beneficial in Michigan's favor.
Oh, they could use one for
because
sure.
they just come out flat. But given how this season has started, I think it's going to be great. So it could get them to maybe do a mid-season just revamp
Adjustment or something. I mean, do you think it's unrealistic, obviously, aside from the normal routine, with a week off, to run 3 plays that are total wrinkles the offense? Or, let's say, obviously a flea flicker is not that ridiculous, but like,
they've tried that a few times this year and they don't work.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying a play like a flea flicker, right? Like,
no, I get you.
Is it unrealistic to say they can't work on 3 plays similar to that have, or like the Mullings to Loveland pass against Ohio State? Like, those kinds of plays can be worked on and figured out pretty quick. Because the rest of it is really the same as they've already been doing. You just have somebody break off instead of blocking.
One thing they need to do more of, and they finally broke it out a little bit on Saturdays, they need to put all 3 of Mullings, Edwards, and Orgy in the game all at one time, so you really don't know who's running the damn ball. And maybe that's the one time that you get one of your receivers like Frederick Moore or Samaj Morgan or Charleston that finally, because you get someone that suck in because they think obviously, oh man, there's 3 possible runners. It's got to be a run play, right?
Right.
And that's finally the time you maybe open up for a receiver to just break something off.
Or like you could throw some, like I said, a wrinkle in there, and like, do you have Alex hike it to Mullins and he throws it over to Edwards and Edwards throws the pass? Like, these are the kinds of things that you have to consider. Because right now, I'm pretty sure Edwards still has more touchdowns in Michigan than Orji does, as far as in the air. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not the play caller. I don't get paid the big bucks to call the plays. I'm literally a couch GM at very best. And it's like, I don't know. You can't go this way. You really can't. I mean, something's got to happen. And I don't mind Alex being in there as quarterback, only for the fact that he definitely offers some hesitation on the defense. You can definitely tell the difference between when he plays versus Warren played.
Just something we've been seeing even since week 1 when they would put him in, and they would put him in last year as well. When they would put him in last year as well for a few snaps, there was just no creativity with what they were doing. They would just just run up the middle. It's just like, no, dude, he's got enough speed that you could do something way more with it. So and that's my biggest thing at this point. It's just, and we've said it every week, so I'm beating a dead horse here, but it's just like, get a little more creative. Come on, like you got to, like, a lot of your play calling looks so plain Jane to the point it's so predictable. Where two guys like us, we could sit there and be like, oh, Edwards up the middle, look, fake handoff, Orji up the middle.
Well, think about this for a second. I mean, I like what Campbell did with JJ last year. I think we've seen more and more now that it probably wasn't as much Campbell as JJ gave him credit for. I mean, that's easy for him to say he won a natty, and like you have to thank all your position coaches, and I'm sure they all contributed. But I almost wonder, is he the guy he had no experience doing this before, and I'm all for giving the right guy the opportunity. Harbaugh was very big in that, and it worked out damn good for him. But Sherrone Moore's not Jim Harbaugh. He is not the same evaluator of talent yet that we know of, especially in the coaching ranks, and that's something that's undervalued for what Harbaugh brought to this team. This team never struggled to have excellent coaches on the sideline in all facets of the game. And so, they typically led their respective categories or were up there, whether it was special teams, defense, offense, and it was just a matter of those players to do their jobs. And I almost feel like they're fighting that now, and it's like, we're going to go out and create X, Y, and Z instead of like letting the game come to them. And it's like we said, maybe it is better they just simplify the playbook. Maybe the playbook's got 60 plays in it, let's say, and I don't even have any idea what it normally has. But let's say it's 60 plays. Maybe you can trim it down to 35. And now it's, okay, well, I can focus on these, and how do we perfect them? Okay, we got 35 plays now locked down in a couple weeks. Okay, I'll throw 5 more at you. Let's work on those. And like, maybe you do it that way. Or maybe they just need somebody that just knows ball more. I don't know. Like, this isn't, I mean, even if they made the playoffs as a team's currently constructed, I don't have any confidence they're going to do anything.
No.
At all.
No. And we're getting into the beef of the schedule, man, where there's no easy task this on the way in. So we're on the road to Washington, first road game of the year in Washington.
Yeah.
And then we go to then there's the bye week, and then you go to Illinois, which is now a very tough game because they were off to a great start to the year.
That might be it. Yeah, might be it.
And then Michigan State comes to town. Michigan State is definitely an improved team from the year before. And then Oregon comes to town. And exactly.
I don't know that they can't beat Washington. They can beat Washington. I watched Washington play. They can beat Washington if they play a good game. I think can.
That's usually how you win games, Brett. Yeah.
Are you done showing off?
I'm not showing off. Just
sure feels like it.
Just being. Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Anyways, now that you've rudely interrupted,
did they get an interception? 1-6. Oh, Smith.
That's all right. Hey, looks like Geno can tackle after all. Shouldn't have to, but he did. Perfect.
What
Thanks
happened?
for that.
What happened here?
Well, who got that ball? Is that Terry and Arnold?
No, that wasn't Arnold. Oh, it's a fumble. Metcalf fumbled.
Campbell punched it out.
Yeah, Campbell.
Let's do it. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Ouch.
Who picked it up, though? Come on. Come on, replay.
What's it going to do? Who's got the ball? Colton Davis. Okay.
Yeah, all right. Oh, that was Kenneth Walker who saved that one.
Here come the men in black. Yeah. That's what I'm feeling right now. All right. So, I don't know what we were talking about.
No, we were talking about on the road in Washington. And we were just talking about the schedule in general.
Okay. So they can win this game, right? I think Illinois on the road is a problem.
I think we'll get a better indication of what this, because going on the road for the first time of the year, obviously that'll show more of what your team is actually about.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe being at home for the first 5 games there's a lot of pressure on the line. Maybe getting on the road is a change of scenery that was needed.
Do you remember the 21 season? I want to say it was a 21 season, and they went to Nebraska as the first road game.
Yeah, and it was a tough one, but they squeaked it out.
They squeaked it out, but do you remember what happened? This is when everything, I feel, really turned with the team.
When Haskins hurdled that guy?
No. It's when Nebraska played its infamous jump around music.
Oh, that was Wisconsin.
Was it Wisconsin?
That was Wisconsin, because I remember watching
Wisconsin.
that.
Okay.
Yes, Wisconsin does jump around.
That's right. Okay. So they're playing the jump around music,
Yes.
and Michigan essentially harnessed that energy, turned it around, and it almost made it their energy, their home field, and that team played with a whole other sense of tenacity.
I remember watching
and
that
attitude.
game.
Yeah, and it was awesome. You could feel that through the TV.
They pretty much controlled that whole game.
Yeah, and that can very well happen with this team. I think that team had a lot more leaders than this team has. It's not to knock on the guys that we have at all. A lot of them were older, more vets, and it's a little bit younger team. But it's possible that they could pull something like that and, be able to bond and kind of have that road fortitude, right, that you have to have. And, yeah, I mean, going out and beating Washington, Illinois, you got a bye week squeezed in there, and then you get ready for state. That'd be all right. I'm getting more concerned about the state game as the weeks go on.
I think
Not because of state's play. State still sucks. But because of the other teams around us and how we've played on offense.
Exactly. It's more or less my confidence with the Wolverines is a little low.
Yeah. Offensively only.
Offensively.
Defense,
for
I'm
sure.
I'm okay.
Because,
with it.
defense can win you games, but, you still get to put points on the board.
Yeah.
So
touchdowns.
I definitely do think Michigan's very close to breaking something out to where, yeah, they are a lot better than what they've looked so far. I definitely think they're very close, and I think it'll take that one game where I would say on the offensive side of the ball, you click at least 85% of the game. Obviously, you're not going to get it's not going to happen 100% of the time, but as long as you get I would say at least 85% of the game where your offense is clicking pretty damn well, I think that would be the confidence booster they'll need. Is they're like, hell yeah, we are that type of team. We can do this now.
Ask yourself a question. Jackson, for the Baltimore Ravens, when he got to the league, and we're going to take all the injury seasons and such out of it for a second. When he got to the league, the dual threat ability was there, right? Nobody questioned that. He showed it at Louisville very well.
Oh, Heisman winner at Louisville, yeah.
Correct. It took him several seasons in the NFL to establish himself and make him the dominant player that he is today, right? Now, I am no way, shape, or form comparing Alex Orji to Lamar Jackson, first of all. What I am going to tell you, though, is he has that run ability.
Yes.
If for one game he could show that he could throw for a couple hundred yards, 250, 300 yards, right, and go out and have a day. Get 3 touchdowns, 250 yards, even if you throw a pick in there too, just whatever, right? But you go out and show, hey, I can be somewhat accurate. I can go out and throw some touchdowns. I can make a defense pay. You show that one time, I assure you, the national outlook on this team will change drastically.
No,
because now they go, dual threat quarterback. This guy can do it all.
Jameer Gibbs.
He's going to lead the team through the
touchdown.
Looky there. He's going to lead the team through the fire. Well, I think everybody's hoping he does that. He just hasn't shown it yet. And I hope that between Washington and Indiana, he can figure out a way to do that. And I don't know. The jury's still out.
I totally agree, and I think we're kind of on the same page here of what we mean of you're saying Orji gets that one player, that one game where kind of makes people known oh yeah, don't worry, I can do this. Yeah. I think we're on the same page of we're in the same headspace with it of if you do get that one game, that does make the rest of the teams on your schedule look oh shit, all right, they figured something out. It's not like the first 5 games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it's going to take, man, but they got to do something.
Yes. We're already going into game 6.
Yeah.
So we're halfway through the year.
Yeah.
And we're still sitting here talking about this.
Which is a problem.
It's a problem.
So let's not talk about it anymore. Let's talk about something different.
Gritty Tiggs?
Gritty Tiggs.
Gritty
the boys
Tiggs
are back in town.
Albeit they...
Tell me the song. Trivia.
What?
Tell me the song.
I wasn't. What'd you say?
I just said it. I just gave you the title of the song.
I didn't hear you.
Oh, you weren't listening?
No, I was
That's
not.
Strange.
Well, I was trying to think.
It's like yesterday, and I come to the bench, and I'm calling for you, and Don't even send a player out, dude. Not listening. All right.
You were the one who wasn't listening.
That's a
I don't
big
know what the
surprise.
hell you were listening
Dude,
to.
I shut my listening skills off
Clearly.
Saturday.
So
I went fishing Saturday night, though. Didn't need listening skills. Had fishing skills instead. Muskie fishing. Or not sturgeon fishing with the same captain that we went muskie fishing with. And pretty well, but I'm exhausted. I will tell you. I mean, it was a long night. But the Tigers, yeah, they finally clinched. They play Houston starting tomorrow night, would be Tuesday. Like a 2:39 start, I think it is.
Scooble on the mound.
Yeah, this is where it's all it comes down to. And AJ Hinch against his former team. And I got to tell you, this team loves writing good stories. My goodness.
Did you see AJ Hinch's comment today?
No.
It's Scooble, then pitching chaos. That's exactly what he said. I'm like, that's a great way to put
I don't hate
Tigers pitching, honestly,
yeah,
because
so
that's
I don't hate
exactly
it.
what it is. You got Scooble and everyone else.
Well,
So,
and I think Scooble goes out and dominates. I think he gives you 7 innings tomorrow.
I would if you can go out and make a statement and win game 1, that's huge. Obviously huge.
They played the Astros earlier this year,
Yes, they did.
and how'd they do?
I
I think they
not
were
entirely
1 and
sure.
2.
I'm not entirely sure.
What
It
comes
was
to
a home
memory is
series.
1 and 2.
It was a home series. I do know that.
But I want to say it was 1 and 2. But we played a one game where that probably could have went either way. Regardless, I think this team can beat anybody. Really, I do right now.
Given how they're playing, for sure.
Given how they're playing now, I hope the last couple games didn't kind of screw the mojo up.
Well, at that point, because Scooble was supposed to pitch the last game against
Yeah,
the White
that
Sox.
would've
Well,
been a win.
obviously that's going to get changed after Friday happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, I kind of expected it because you saw how Friday went. They won the game, and
Yeah.
obviously they clinched. So it didn't surprise me that they did end up losing the last 2 games to the White Sox. It wasn't surprising whatsoever. But yeah, I'm with you. I really hope it doesn't kill that mojo. But you did. I remember yesterday I did see Hitch's comments. It's like there was 3 pitchers available for yesterday's game, no matter how long the game went. So they definitely went in full on rest mode after that.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of been their mojo lately. Is just whoever they've got, and it's just worked out. And I do question postseason wise. That kind of luck seems to run out in the postseason typically, but there is an aura on this team that feels like the Phillies that went to the World Series. It was a wild card team.
Yeah,
Feels very similar. It can happen.
honestly, you never know with this team, because obviously this team really did the unthinkable starting in August. So you really have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of like that outlook going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to Danny McClain, obviously, earlier this year, and he was like, this team's trash. And,
That was June,
yeah.
July, I believe.
And honestly, I mean, from that perspective, they were trash. Really, I mean, overall, it was bad. And you could tell there was a little more there, but, you didn't really expect anything. And, man, what a turnaround they've had. And to make the playoffs is a feat in itself. I think this team does more. I don't know that they get to the World Series, for God's sakes, but can you imagine if they won the wild card round? Even just that alone would be a big
And
deal.
knocking out Houston's, it would be pretty cool.
Be important. Be a
Obviously,
big step for
you're
Hinch,
knocking
too,
out,
though.
You're knocking out Verlander and then
Yeah.
obviously Hinch, given
Yeah.
how his tenure ended in Houston. So they have played a
Banging the
home and
drum.
home series against the Astros this year. They are 2-4.
Not upset.
So they obviously lost 2 of 3 in both.
Okay, fair enough. I think this team can do damage against anybody. I think the way that Hinch is using the pieces on the team, it's really been impressive. I think that, he's very analytical driven. I will say that, and willing to adapt, which I love. I think that, I think Scooble's the best pitcher on the planet right now, as far as or at least in the American League. But after that, right, these guys got to go out and continue to perform. They already have performed. They got to go out and continue to perform, and the kids can't let the spotlights get too big for them.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I mean, I don't. Who's going to knock them out? I mean, really. And again, I'm not saying teams can't, but are you going to bet against them at that point? No,
No.
I'm not betting against them.
No. So obviously it is an early game, which kind of is annoying, but I would definitely will have it on while I am working.
Yeah, or
2:30
pretending
start?
to work.
So
Pretending to work is better.
well, I will act. Damn, I have a doctor's
Why don't you
appointment
Why don't you let the world know what does Bret do during the week?
tomorrow. I work in the mortgage industry.
Yeah, and what do you do in the mortgage industry?
I pretty much say if you can or cannot get the mortgage.
Fair
so
enough.
I'm that
So you
guy.
are the bearer of bad news.
Pretty much.
But you don't deliver it, though. That's
No,
smart.
I don't deliver
That's
it.
smart. You get the behind the scenes.
I'm the
like
behind the scenes of.
You're the guy with the stamp that says rejected, but
Pretty
you don't have
much.
to tell the family and watch them cry.
Pretty much.
You let that to the peasants
Pretty
of
much.
the world, right?
Pretty much. So.
I get to call people and tell them, guess what? Your car's broken. You have no choice because it's broken, and it's going to be $3,000 to fix it.
Oh, and I hate those calls whenever I drop my truck off. Oh yeah, you're all good, but we found this and this. It will be this, and this to fix. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Well, that'd be me calling. Me calling in that role. I won't call you though. I will just tell them to have somebody else call you.
Works for me.
I think, I think that the last 5 weeks have really made us appreciate sometimes the 9 to 5 that we've already done and continue to do, but like we were able to shut it off for the weekend,
Yeah.
And now it's been tough. Obviously we didn't have that kind of time, and we're trying to edit and with all this kind of stuff and kind of get our feet wet with this. It's been tough. And again, I'm pretty excited to have the weekend off as far as that goes, but we are doing a live react party for the Washington game on our show. And I don't know, I think we should do something fun. What do you think?
Define fun.
For the fans.
Oh, okay.
That'd be weird. Jesus.
Well, when you say do something fun, it's just like, what the hell do you mean?
Glad to know that's the first place your mind goes.
That is not. No. That's definitely not. I'm not P. Diddy, all right?
Ain't no potty like a Diddy potty.
We're not going down that road. No.
No, we're not. I'm not signing your waiver, Brett. You ain't going to get me to do it. So don't ask.
So what did you have in mind?
I don't know. I'm just thinking that, for those that want to tune in, maybe they can have a chance to win something or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they can let us know. Maybe they can throw some comments out there. Let us know what they want to see. You guys want to win some tickets? You guys want to win a prize? What do you think? We'll think of it throughout the week.
We'll see how many pieces of pizza Bret can eat in one sitting.
You'd be surprised. I can eat a lot. I love pizza. Literally, there is not many scenarios where pizza is not a good option for me. Anytime I go to the bar, which is very, very rare, as you can attest to, I've been on your team for, 7 or 8 years now?
Mm-hmm.
And how many times have I gone into the bar?
I can count on one hand.
Yeah. So, and I can probably count on one hand, the other hand, how many times I've gone to the bar outside of hockey. It's not many. And so I'm just not that dude, but when I do go in the bar, I typically don't come out standing up. It's typically like, drag me to the car, whatever, because I don't know what I'm doing, right? Very inexperienced in that department. But one thing I can tell you, I have a story that I would like to share with fans that I want to call one of my best pizza moments ever. So my wife's sister last fall.
Oh, you've told me this one.
Great. My wife's sister last fall gets married in Arizona. And the family rents this big, mansion-style Airbnb. And, we all arrive, obviously, as family early, right, to get things prepared. And I started drinking because I wasn't helping a lot. I was helping by I was keeping an eye on the kids. And I had a couple beers.
Yeah, that's a good time to start drinking.
No, well, I mean, we're not talking like
No,
infants, right? Like the kids
I'm
are all,
messing with
yeah. So, and there's other adults around. And so I said, all right, we're going to start drinking. So we're starting to get close, and I'm like, man, let's see what the menu looks like for dinner tonight. They had fried chicken. They had potatoes. They had all the fixings, right? Awesome. Pulled pork, pulled chicken, barbecue, all this. I mean, it's great. It was a fantastic spread, and the food was awesome. But what I did is I said, listen, I'm going to look out for you folks, okay? And I'm going to order pizzas for when everybody wants round 2. Because I know all this food's going to be gone or picked through or cold, and nobody's going to want to deal with it.
Seattle scored.
I see that. And so I do that. I go online. I order from the local pizza place. I ordered like 10 pizzas and breadsticks and all this stuff. Spent like $300, which is asinine.
$300 in pizza.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, but listen, the story gets better. The pizza place calls and says, hey, we received your order, but it's through like, I don't forget the hell the name of it was, but it's like a knockoff DoorDash. They said, okay, what's the problem? Well, it doesn't correlate with our system, something. I need you to cancel and reorder through me. I said, okay, whatever. So I give them the order. They take the same order I just made online. And I said, well, do I have to rerun the card? They said, no. Okay. Interesting, but okay. So then I said, well, mind you, we're out back because it's a wedding. You're going to have to come around to the gate and either call me or you come in. Whatever, I don't care. We'll just bring the damn pizzas. We want the food. So the driver shows up comes back to the gate as instructed, right? I left him a tip. I signed on tip on the receipt. It was like $50, $60. I mean, I made sure he felt like he was taken care of. And we didn't get charged for the pizza. We never got charged for the pizza. What happened was they never retook my card like they were supposed to, but the other order was canceled. So really the only person that won was the driver, which I'm all about, first of all. But he's the only one that won, and us. But to furthermore on the point of pizza, the entire wedding party was infatuated with the idea that I had pizza there for him, right? Like when that pizza showed up, that party came back alive. It did. Everybody's like, hell yes, dude. Like, we had barbecue, we're drinking, we're having a good time, kids are winding down, right? And now we want some pizza. And I know that you'd be thinking the same damn thing. And even the people that don't want to publicly admit it, they were thinking it because they ate the damn pizza when it was there.
Oh,
that stuff got smashed.
Yeah.
That stuff was gone in like 15 minutes. And months later, I find out that my wife's sister was less than impressed with that maneuver at her own wedding. And the way I try to spin it is, look, at the end of the day, your guests went home happy. Now, they can be happy for a lot of reasons. They can be happy for you getting married. That's cool. That's why we're all there. But they also could have went home hungry, and they didn't go home hungry because I took care of them. So you're welcome. And I feel like I got nothing but grief. Nothing but grief for trying to take care of the people, the common man, you know? And
well, the late night snack at weddings are...
Who doesn't do that?
Yeah,
I've done that at several
weddings. Nowadays. I know I discussed this with you because I've heard you've told me this story before.
Yep.
Like the two of my most favorite late night snacks is someone had a soft pretzel bar and someone had a bunch of sliders.
Sliders are a number 2 for me. Like they're right there. They're just less accessible than pizza as far as accommodations goes. So not only did we win on that front, we also didn't pay for it somehow.
Yeah, I don't know how
That's fantastic. Like that was probably the best part of the story. And then to find out that I caused grief within the internals of the family is just fantastic.
I think that's a little egregious, to be honest, to be mad about something like that.
Well, again, it's not like, I'm Satan, right? It's not like that. It's just, it's one of those things where like is. It's just
at the end of the day,
I tell you, that was really crap. What happened or something crazy like that. It's like, whatever.
Cause?
It may have stole a little thunder, possibly from the
pizza,
but it's pizza. It's an inanimate object. But the genius behind it is what you should really be impressed with.
But people are hungry. Sorry. You took away all your food.
It was inside. Like, it was accessible, but like I said, like, it had been picked through. People had it for several hours, right? Like, you know how it goes? Like, you don't want the same thing you had several hours ago unless it's all you have.
I would love to know
because most weddings, that is all you have.
If your wife's sister actually had a slice of that pizza, but then go complain about it.
I'm not sure. I'm going to say I believe so. I know her husband did. That is a fact. I had pizza with him at his own wedding.
Oh, my God. Did you Lady and Tramp it?
Does it? No. Why would I Lady and Tramp it? Does it look like that?
Well, you just said you shared a pizza with him.
Well, it's like sharing a beer with somebody, you dum-dum. You can't sit there and talk to them and share a pizza. Share a common conversation. Share a beer. I mean,
I knew exactly what you meant.
I hate you. So, yeah, I mean, it's, again, I don't care that I don't get praised for it. I'm not looking for that at all by any stretch. But, man, got to lay it off a little bit because I think that was a pretty big hit. And if you asked me to come to your wedding sometime down the road in case that one didn't work out, don't think I wouldn't pull the same maneuver because I absolutely will. I don't need their permission. I can order food on my own. I'm an adult to some degree. At least it says so on my driver's license. So I think I can order my own pizza. That's just how I feel about it.
Well, when we were getting this podcast started, how many times did we order pizza?
Okay, I feel like this has now become an attack.
No.
What's happening?
I'm not saying that in a derogatory way whatsoever. I'm just saying.
It's happened a few times. I want to say it happened the first 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, it was every night. Every night we got together to plan something.
I can't apologize for it, though. It's in my veins. I bet you if you look me up on the scans at the hospital, I bet you there is, like, pizza toppings floating around in my bloodstream, it feels like.
More than likely.
I'd be willing to bet.
More than likely.
Mamma mia.
But I think it's time we start wrapping her up just a little bit here. So currently it is 14-7 Lions. Seahawks did just score, but 14-7 Lions in the second quarter. Let's see what the Wings are doing in their preseason game. Down 3-1. That's a tough look, but it's preseason. Who cares? Gritty Tiggs starting their postseason run tomorrow, 2:30 start time against the Astros. Skubal is on the mound. Unfortunately, he is not getting Verlander. That would have been cool, but
Yeah, but he hasn't pitched really well this year. He had an injury. Hasn't pitched super great coming back, but he's also in his 40s, for God's sakes. Like,
still,
my God, expect a little decline. You know, he's still a Hall of Famer. Easy first ballot Hall of Famer.
Oh, 1000%.
Speaking of that, Pete Rose passed away today.
Pete Rose did pass away. Calvin Johnson got halftime is getting honored into the Lions. I think they call it the Ring of Honor.
Quite the event. Megatron, one of the best to ever do it. Really a shame that he retired as early as he did, but similar to Barry, we talked about it before. Like, can't really blame him. It's not like they were a winner. I guarantee you he doesn't retire if he plays on a team like they are today. Not a chance. And now he plays at least a few more years. Has
More
to.
than likely, yeah.
Then again, though, you remember when he retired, his finger was like sideways.
Yeah.
His pinky
Because
was-
Stafford throws the ball so damn
It's
hard.
a missile shot out of a cannon.
All right, yeah. So I think we wrap it up for this week. Obviously, we had a Michigan victory, and they are on the road to Washington this week. So let's hope. Obviously, let's just keep seeing some more improvement, and we should be pretty good there. The Lions are currently playing, so we'll have a Lions recap later in the week here for you, and then it will actually probably by then the Red Wings regular season roster might be taking shape, and obviously we'll have some more Tigers to talk about because by then, honestly, this series may or may not be doing something as far as
Well, I hope it does
over
something.
or-
They got to play the game.
no, as far as like over or they're coming back to Detroit for a decisive game. Who knows?
I'm going to ask you a trivia question before we leave.
Okay.
I'm going to. This should be probably pretty easy for you with somebody as much of an expert as you might be. Who is the only quarterback right now to be completing 80% or more of his passes in the NFL this season?
80% or more?
Mm-hmm. Unprecedented, by the way.
There's no way it's Goff.
It's definitely not Goff.
I was to say
He's
like
not started
he's
really
been
well.
struggling.
There he goes. There he goes. Look at that run. Jameer Gibbs. Nice.
Is it AFC or NFC?
NFC.
NFC. Okay. I'm rolling through my mind of like what NFC quarterbacks have played okay to start the year. So my mind keeps going to Baker Mayfield.
Well, your mind has misled you. It's Jaden Daniels.
Oh, see, yeah, he has had a great start to the year. Yes, he has.
And you know what's even more impressive? I think what's really made him successful is the coaching staff around him. He has Cliff Kingsbury as his offensive coordinator.
yeah, that's a good. That's I
And
think
Dan
that's pretty
Quinn
good
has
for him,
proved to
so-
be a pretty solid coach overall.
But yeah, I liked seeing him. Actually, I watched him on Monday Night Football last week. He looked pretty damn good.
Boy, the Giants got to be feeling stupid, don't they?
Yeah.
After their mess on Hard Knocks about, he's not the guy. Don't or whatever they said. It was something ridiculous. He looked pretty damn good to me. I think the Giants would take this version of Jaden Daniels over Daniel Jones, whom they have now benched
Yep.
for Drew Lock.
Yeah.
My God, what a
But
mess!
I mean,
like the Jets.
I like what have they ever seen in Daniel Jones? That's where I'm just baffled
Where they were saying
because
what?
he's never had a bright moment where you're like, oh, he might have something. He's never had one of those.
Well, it was his contract year. It was the best year he had. He was also the healthiest last season.
But
He had
it
the health.
wasn't-
He never. I don't think he missed a game last season.
But
I mean,
he's, it
but
still
he's
wasn't-
terrible.
Yeah, it still wasn't good.
His
I
stats
don't
were the
get it.
best last year out of his entire career, obviously. So they're thinking, okay, progression, wrong, outlier, and you paid for it, and I'm happy to watch it.
Well,
You know what I mean? Trivia for me. Do you want to make me look stupid on again, or
no.
that's all right? That's all right. Apparently, as it stands, most people know that I am no good at trivia. So maybe you'll stop asking me questions.
No, I'll
It's
definitely
one of
keep
those
hitting
things
you,
where
but
if you
I'll
do it
give
bad enough, maybe they don't ask you to do it anymore.
Yeah, I'll give you a little bit of a break. Let you do some studying, maybe.
No, not studying.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in to another week of Mitten State Sports Corner. Brett with 2 T's.
I am Bret with 1T, and we appreciate you coming on. See you next time.
Have a great night.